All right, everybody. This is the Between Meetings and Motherhood podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Starks. I'm the CEO of Mothered Media and the editor-in-chief at Mothered Magazine. And today, I want to do a different type of podcast. Normally, I sit at my table. I've got my beautiful abstract background. But today, I am sitting in my living room with a beanbag. You could see our gold stars. Anyways, I want to do an episode for my fellow mom founders, all about the 8 secrets to building a business while raising babies that really no one's talking about. And I think this is especially important as we see more moms leaving corporate and pivoting to entrepreneurship, whether that's, trying to do something part-time or a side gig or full-time building a whole ass company or trying to do some sort of content creation little things so they can really spend more time with their kids, like stay at home, work from home mom. Anyways, if you're leaving corporate and pivoting to entrepreneurship, there is so much that is going on that's different than being in corporate world and being an employee, and you have to stay in your lane. And being an entrepreneur, you can't stay in your lane. You literally have to do everything and learn how to do all the different jobs, the content creation, the PR, the financial analysis, the analytics, the website design. And there's a lot that you can outsource. And so part of this is knowing what to outsource and when to outsource instead of trying to learn it yourself. But a lot of this you will have to learn. You'll have to fail and pivot and try again and research and watch YouTube videos and look up how to do something and figure it out as you go, which is very different than in corporate, where you don't have an opportunity to really fail or to try all these new things and pivot and fail and learn as you go. So if you are a working mom, if you are starting your own company, or if you've been building your business, or if you're thinking about leaving and starting your own thing and you're in corporate, this is the episode for you. So I have a couple notes. The first secret to building a business while raising your kids, the first one that I want to talk about is the consistency and discipline in the beginning. If you just scroll through social media, it will look like you should be making $20,000 months within the first 2 months. I can't tell you how fucking dumb that is. I mean, I see so many content creators being like, I made $100,000 in 3 months, and here's how you can copy exactly what I did and do it yourself. That's so unrealistic. That's like the 0.001% of the times. And honestly, it's probably a lie. They probably were doing all this stuff beforehand and then finally got it working. So I can't spot the liars that well. But either way, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes consistency and discipline and compounding effort every day. And the difference between you and succeeding as an entrepreneur in your business from the ones that fail and quit and give up is just probably a little bit more effort. Just keep going a little bit. If you add compounding effort and posting and showing up and building and networking every single day, that's compounding effort that will eventually, I'm drawing a blank on the fucking word I want to say. It will, something will happen. You guys, this is what happens when I don't script. This is completely unscripted. I have 8 bullet points that I wrote at the gym this morning, literally in my notes app. That's what 8 bullet points. Okay. Compounding effort, just keep going. Honestly, it probably took a solid 6 months of effort and work and networking and posting before I really started getting enough traction and building my audience. And, now we're a solid year and a half into full-time entrepreneurship, and we're now at consistent revenue every month. But that's a year and a half later. And so it's going to take time to build up to the inflection point of now you're making consistent revenue every month, revenue that has profit. And so it covers all your bills. That's going to take some time. But if all you do is scroll through social media and you're just absorbing the content that says how to make $20,000 months in 2 months from launching, it's unrealistic, honestly. So please level set your expectations. You need consistency and discipline and hustle in those first few months, 6 months, year, honestly. But don't give up. Just don't give up. And that's where it actually really helps. Before I go into the second thing, it really helps to be very passionate about what you're doing because it will be disappointing and feel frustrating when you are putting in work and effort every single day and not seeing the results yet. And you'll want to give up because in corporate, you put in results and work every day, you see the results. That's your job. But as an entrepreneur, you may not yet see those results. So you have to be so passionate about what you're doing and enjoy doing it that you're not going to burn out and want to quit too soon just because you don't see results yet. Okay. The second thing I want to talk about is be different, stand out. It's really frustrating when I see a lot of content creators and they're, selling their course or their XYZ playbook or PDF or whatever. And they're like, just take what I did, copy it, put your name on it. Or, here's how to make your own course. And they literally give you the email copy and the images and you just put in your course title name or your name or, that's, be different, stand out. And I think, especially with like the Yap challenges that I see, I love Yap challenge. I love talking. I could talk all day, but now so many people are doing it. And so it's like, how do you stand out? That's going to differentiate you and help you so much, especially in the beginning, is in building that visibility and awareness is be different. Be different, be you. All the weird little nuances that make you, you, hone in on that. For example, I swear a lot. And so for me, I like that. It's part of who I am. And when I go on other people's podcasts, I make sure I preface it with like, do you mind if I swear? And 99% of the time they're like, nope, I don't mind. Great. Sometimes they're like, yeah, if you could just, keep it to bare minimum. Cool. That helps me know where I'm at. And so just hone in on what's you, what makes you different. Try to stand out in the most authentic way that's you. Don't try too hard. Don't force it, but just be you because that's going to set you apart from the millions of other people online on social media doing something. Okay. The third one, show the messiness, be vulnerable, and be open. And you've probably heard people talk about this, and it's uncomfortable being open and vulnerable and showing the messiness, but like, look, we got gold stars on our couch because that was my daughter one day. There's a blanket over there, sitting on a beanbag. There's a box of diapers back there. You can't even see it, but the mess over in front of me, that's what I'm looking at, right? That's my living room. We are sitting on the floor of my living room right now. And most of the time you can't see it, but I sit at my kitchen table and I'm usually surrounded by mess. Occasionally I'll clean it, but be messy. Show the unpolished, imperfect photos, right? It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm all for reels that don't have to be polished and perfect. If you misspell something, that's okay. It just means probably AI didn't write it for you. So be you. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is, again, that it takes a while to get revenue and consistent revenue. And I think this is where, again, you have to have the consistency, but have a runway, right? If you are bootstrapping this, meaning if you are self-funding, you're not getting venture capital investments, if you are building your business from your own savings, have the budget in mind, have some sort of, I'm able to spend XYZ amount, and what you want to invest in ads or in PR or visibility or marketing. And of course, you also have your monthly costs for different tools and platforms, right? If you're using Calendly, if you're using Canva, if you're using, Google email, your website provider, like make sure you're accounting for all these little things so that once you start making revenue, you understand your break-even point, you understand how much profit you're netting at the end of the month. This is important, and we're not taught it generally unless you went to business school and had a finance class or whatever. Honestly, like I took an economics class in college, but it didn't really cover any of this. So it's just like learn the basics, watch a YouTube video. There's nothing you can't learn at this point from YouTube or Substack. I don't know, podcasts. But find the information so that you can understand once you do start making revenue, what's the break even point? What are your profits at the end of each month? And understand how much runway you have. The longer you can stay in corporate or have built up a savings, so that you have that runway and flexibility, so you're not stressing out so much about, I need to make money because I'll, negative each month. Like, you still have monthly bills, mortgage, food, daycare that you need to account for. So have that runway to help get you to the consistent revenue. Okay. The next one, visibility. This is one that I actually don't see a lot of people talk about, especially early building your business. Is visibility strategies is so important, especially if you're trying to launch a business on Instagram, on social media. It is so overflowing with people right now and content creators, and it is very hard to break through a lot of the noise and get seen and be like, I've got 100 followers and just trying to get to 200. Like, it is so hard. And one of the things that helps is visibility and PR strategies, right? So have some sort of PR strategy. And that could be anything from going on podcasts, other people's podcasts, and networking. That could be promoting across multiple platforms. So a lot of this visibility is like, are you visible on just one platform or multiple platforms? I always recommend multiple platforms. I know it's a lot, and there's some people who will be like, oh, just focus on one, right? Just go all in on one. And there's some benefits and pros and cons to just doing one, but long-term real visibility, you want to be showing up in multiple places because your audience also shows up in multiple places, right? We have a YouTube, a Substack, an Instagram, a LinkedIn. Our podcast is on multiple platforms. But anyways, so multiple platforms, and each of those can have a different voice, right? You can show up a little bit different. On LinkedIn, I show up as more of my personal, professional, branded side. On Instagram, it's more the personal side of things. I'll do more like reels and talking reels, whereas I don't really post those on LinkedIn. Substack, long form written content. YouTube is the podcast. So having that multiple pieces of content for visibility. But second of all, being quoted. This is something that I probably don't see many people talking about, but what will help is getting credibility and authority quickly, building that quickly. So if you can get quoted, get published in magazines, in newspapers, in articles, that will help so much. And then, of course, posting that, and showing, hey, I was quoted as an expert in XYZ in XYZ magazine. That will be tremendously helpful to building your authority and credibility quickly, and then like pin those to your Instagram, or put those in your profile at the featured section on your LinkedIn, right? Put those on your website and as seen in XYZ publication. That will help a lot. And there's different tools you can use, like reaching out to journalists. Like, that's a whole other podcast episode I'll probably get into, is about like how to actually get featured. We have feature opportunities in our Mothered magazine if you're interested. So it's all about leveraging other people's audiences to get seen quickly as well, right? Because those publications have their own audiences. So if you're being quoted in Forbes or AP News or Business Insider or Mothered magazine, you're reaching their audience. So it's kind of like piggybacking. And if you're doing podcast interviews on other people's podcasts, you're piggybacking on their audience. And so you're reaching a whole new audience of new people to see you, who will then follow you. And so it's just another part of this strategy that will help you, especially early on in the beginning when you're trying to grow your audience, grow your reach, grow your business, is reaching new people in new places. Okay. Oh, okay. The fifth, sixth, the sixth, right? One, two, three, four, five, six. The sixth secret is networking. And it's funny because before I started a business, I don't think I did a lot of networking. Like, I remember I'd go out with colleagues after work for drinks when I was in my early 20s in agency life, but in LA. But as an entrepreneur, I did not understand in the beginning how valuable that is, networking. It pays to know people and network, network, network. I mean, honestly, I've spoken with hundreds probably closer to 1,000 at this point, of women just from networking, like a virtual coffee chat, through LinkedIn, some through Instagram, but predominantly through LinkedIn, because that's a lot of where my audience lives, and the work I do and the personal branding lives on LinkedIn for thought leadership. And so, you see someone cool in a similar space, you reach out, hey, I'd love to have a virtual coffee chat and get to know a little bit more about you and your business and what you do. And make it about them, make it about, like, I'd, love to, if it's a collaboration, I'd love to collaborate, see how we could work together. But the more you can network and get to know people, and that puts your name in other people's mouth, right? That puts you in their brain. That means that they're thinking about you. So when opportunities come up in the future, let's say they're doing something and they think, oh, I met so-and-so who's doing so-and-so, they would be good for this opportunity, right? Or now you get people who know you and start seeing your posts on social media, on LinkedIn or on Instagram. They'll comment on it. They know you. They'll see you and be like, oh, I love that post they did, right? So network, network, network. You never know what opportunities will present to you that someone else may have, and think of your name first. I cannot cannot overstate how important networking has been for my growth. And just in general, it's literally a free tool to just have a virtual coffee chat with someone, get to know them, know what they're doing, what their goals are, and make it about them. Like, at the end of it, how can I support you in your goals? How can I help you in any way? And a lot of it's probably just, engage, promote, comment where you see fit on LinkedIn. That helps engagement, that helps reach, of course. And then in the future, it may be more, right? Okay, so network, 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 network. Okay, second to last one, the seventh secret to building a business while raising babies is get uncomfortable. Oh, this is such a good one, because in corporate America, corporate world, you don't often get opportunities to truly get out of your comfort zone, right? Like, even if you ask for a stretch project, most likely you're not getting too far out of your comfort zone. You're staying within your lane of what you're good at, right? Like, let's say it's project management or operations or strategy. You're staying within your lane of expertise and you're just stretching, like, upwards, right? And so with entrepreneurship, though, you have to get uncomfortable not knowing how to do something and understand how to research and figure out how to do it instead, right? For example, the finance, the profit and loss aspect of growing a business. You need to understand how to do that. And I never liked math. I was okay at it. My brother is a math genius. I didn't like it. I don't like numbers. I had to figure out how to do that. I had to figure out how to track my expenses, how to understand taxes and filing taxes and, expenses and profit loss and break even point. So you have to get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone, because you as an entrepreneur have to learn everything about your business, because it is you in the beginning. And eventually you may hire a team. That's totally fair. But right now, if you're starting business or thinking about it, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, stepping out of your comfort zone and knowing how to research something and look up how to do it, right? Maybe it's emails and newsletters and sending emails that convert, right? I didn't do emails when I was in advertising. That wasn't part of my job. I was more operations side, but I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to build a website. I had to learn the coding of it in certain places, right? I had to learn how to build a subscriber list. And so much of it is research, your ability to research and your ability to say, I don't know how to do this, but I will figure it out. That's huge. That's key. And honestly, if you're a mom, you've probably been doing that since the newborn era, right? How many times have you Googled, like, is this normal for my baby's poop to look like this? Or when will my nipples stop hurting from breastfeeding? When will my baby sleep through the night? When will I sleep through the night? Like, is this normal? Is that normal? You've researched a billion things in motherhood. Take that CIA level research capability and apply it to entrepreneurship and growing your business, because the buck stops with you and you need to know how to do it, or outsource where you can, right? Where it's efficient for your time and money. Okay. The last and most important one, the most important secret that no one really ever talks about to growing a business, especially while raising babies, is learn how to fail quickly and fail fast and pivot and adapt. This one is huge because, again, when you're in corporate, you don't have very many failures. There's not a lot of opportunity to fail because generally failure means you're fired, right? You don't get to fail a lot and you are the expert at your job. But in entrepreneurship, you may try something and it fails. It doesn't work. You may do a launch and you get no signups. Okay, pivot. What did you learn? What do you do next time? Pivot, adapt. Maybe that course is not the path for you. Maybe instead you want to do a group membership or a community, or maybe it's coaching instead, right? Learn how to fail, learn what to take away from that failure, and pivot, adapt. You don't have to give up just because you failed at something. You can take what you learn from it and pivot. I started my business doing maternity leave coaching and corporate workshops, and I ended up not liking it. It wasn't a failure, but I didn't like the exhaustion and the long sales cycles and the DEI budgets all being cut in corporate. And anyways, I had to pivot and I adapted. And it was amazing, the pivot to what we are now. But you have to be able to pivot and adapt. Learn, pivot, adapt. And don't be afraid of failing, because failing is just an opportunity to learn what to do correctly next time, right? Think about that. Failure is just an opportunity to learn what to do better next time. And that leads to success. The more times you fail, the closer you get to success. Really. So, but it's a totally different mindset shift from corporate. So, those were the 8 secrets to building a business while raising babies that we don't talk about enough. And I honestly don't see that many people talking about online. But either way, a lot of this is being able to do this quickly. And this will help you with efficiency. As moms, we don't have 24 hours in a day. We don't have the ability to get up at 4:30 in the morning, meditate for an hour, go to the gym for 2 hours, sit in the sauna for 20 minutes, then go do a self-care routine, then journal for 20 minutes. Like, my kids wake me up. Sometimes it's 5:30, sometimes it's 6. Today it was 6:30. It was nice. But there is no like, I'm going to get up early and meditate and then start my day at 11 o'clock, right? I work most evenings after we put the kids down at 8. I work till 10, 10:30 most evenings, weekends too. And so I don't have the flexibility and the time, the endless amount of time to just try, slow going. We have to move quickly. As a business owner, I had to move quickly, put things up quickly, learn what I can learn, fail quickly, pivot, adapt, network, build a community, build an audience, all of these things much quicker with less money, because I bootstrapped this as well. This was all coming out of our savings. So honestly, these are probably the 8 things I would have told myself before I started, but any working mom who is starting a business or thinking of leaving corporate and starting a business, these are the 8 things I wish I knew. And if you are still listening to this, you're amazing. Thank you. You can read more about our work at motheredmedia.com. We also have our magazine, motheredmagazine.com. I'll put those links in the bio description. Anyways, we will see you in the next episode of Between Meetings and Motherhood. Thank you for joining.